Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Welcome to Daily Dose Radio. This is the only 5-minute daily Bible study through the Psalms that's made from real juice and not concentrate. Well, I hope that you're ready to study Psalm 85 with me this week. We're going to look at Psalm 85 beginning today and going through Friday. Psalm 85 is like Psalm 84 in that it is a psalm of the sons of Korah, but that's about all we know about it. There are no musical notations here except for the choir master. He's also mentioned in this introduction to the psalm in the superscript. It says, "To the choir master of the sons of Korah, a psalm." It's also like 84 in that it's about the same length as Psalm 84, and it also appears in psalm format using the Selah as a divider for the content. Now, last time at 84, we were looking at that psalm. We noticed how nicely the Selahs divide that psalm into 3 pieces. The Selah's use here in Psalm 85 is more of a break between the introduction and the body of the psalm. We'll see that as we go forward today. Well, let me read today for us verses 1 and 2. "Lord, thou hast been favorable unto thy land. Thou hast brought back the captivity of Jacob. Thou hast forgiven the iniquity of thy people. Thou hast covered all their sins." Selah. Now I want you to notice as we go through the psalm this week, the pronouns really stand out and help us with the study of the psalm and its division. One of the things in Hebrew language that's very important are prepositions. Prepositions are extremely important in the Hebrew language, and the way they're used in context that they're used in often determines the translation of the text. Today, and all this week, we're going to see that actually it's the pronouns. The pronouns in this particular psalm help us to understand the psalm and its division, and we're going to see that actually beginning right here in verse 1 and 2. Notice, the Lord has been favorable to whom? To thy land. Now, that's very important because it tells us, first of all, it's God's land. He gave it to Israel. And then verse 2, forgiven the iniquity of thy people. So the land belongs to the Lord, the people belong to the Lord, and that's very important for the rest of the psalm. Because of the rest of the psalm, we're going to be addressing God as owner and Lord. So he is not only God in heaven, but he actually has a vested interest in these people that it says he has brought back. He's brought back the captivity of Jacob. That's led some commentators actually to think that this was written after the Babylonian captivity. I'm not so sure I agree with that. That's why they say it, because the bringing back of the captivity into the land would have been, of course, with Zerubbabel and his return, and then Ezra, and then Nehemiah. So during that period, this psalm was constructed perhaps for the dedication of the temple or some event in temple life. The sons of Korah would have been the ones to have created this particular psalm. And of course, there were many of those that came back with the children of Israel when they returned from Babylonian captivity. You can go back to the book of Ezra and see the list of singers from the house of Korah that came back. It's possible. I'm not sure I'm there with that yet, but then it also, forgiven the iniquity of thy people, there in verse 2, such a beautiful statement. This is the heartbeat of God, to forgive his people's iniquities and to cover all their sin. And of course, that is done for us eternally in the work of our Lord Jesus Christ. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow as we pick up after the Selah and look at verses 3 and 4 on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.